With a superstar eyeing a comeback and more, this is Wrestling Rambles, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Revealing he wants to face Logan Paul in WWE, Bad Bunny told Rolling Stone, "I want to do it one more time. I want to put my life at risk in the ring. I felt like I didn't risk it enough in the ring, and I want to do it. I want to scare my mother. When? I don't know. We stay in contact with the people at WWE. We're always paying attention to what's going on. But when, I don't know. I hope there's a time where I can really get ready, like I did the last few times. And I'd love to take more time to get ready physically. I'm going to go full-time and be a heel. I was always a fan of the villains more than the good guys." Paul responded on Instagram, writing, "Then get in the ring with me." When it comes to how much Saudi Arabia paid to host the Royal Rumble event for next year, Ringside News wrote that WWE officially announced that the 2026 Royal Rumble will be held in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And this marks the first time the event will take place outside of North America. Unsurprisingly, Saudi Arabia ended up spending a lot of money to ensure the Rumble takes place in Riyadh. According to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Saudi Arabia was willing to pay over $55 million to secure a major WWE premium live event like the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, or WrestleMania. Therefore, the Rumble was ultimately chosen by Saudi Arabia. WrestleMania, being WWE's flagship event, is particularly noteworthy. Meltzer believes that while it could create more revenue than any other show, hosting it in Saudi Arabia might create social backlash. Starting with the Royal Rumble seemed like a strategic move, gradually normalizing the idea of major WWE events in the region. Meltzer points out that the biggest boxing matches already take place in Saudi Arabia, and fan acceptance has grown over time, suggesting WWE may follow a similar path. Fans were already incredibly outraged after WWE confirmed the 2026 Royal Rumble will be taking place in Saudi Arabia. Despite the criticism, WWE's events in Saudi Arabia have been highly profitable, showing the company's commitment to its partnership with the country, and so fans will simply have to accept it. Changing gears to the Royal Rumble for this year, this was said regarding a legend appearing at a show, with Ringside News writing, "The Nature Boy might be making his way back to WWE for one of the biggest events of the year." According to PWInsider.com, Ric Flair is one of the names being discussed for a potential cameo at the 2025 Royal Rumble, set to take place on February 1st at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. If plans go through, this would mark a major moment for Flair, who hasn't appeared in WWE in years. Flair, who won the WWF Championship in the iconic 1992 Royal Rumble match, is one of the most celebrated names in professional wrestling history. His potential return to WWE comes after a stint in AEW, where he was featured during Sting's retirement run. However, Flair hasn't been seen in AEW since March, and his planned appearance at AEW Collision in Charlotte, North Carolina, was scrapped last minute. Tony Khan confirmed that Flair's AEW appearances were tied to his Woo Energy sponsorship deal, which mirrored Randy Savage's similar arrangement with WCW in the 1990s. In recent months, WWE has made a habit of bringing legends back for major events, whether it's surprise appearances in the ring or simply honoring them backstage. Flair's name stands out as a potential draw for the Royal Rumble, given his unmatched legacy and connection to the event's history. While it's unlikely Flair would wrestle, a cameo from the Nature Boy could still be a huge moment for fans. The Royal Rumble has always been a celebration of wrestling's past and present, and bringing Ric Flair back would be a fitting tribute to his storied career. WWE's use of legends at events like Bad Blood in Atlanta and Saturday Night's Main Event shows they know how to make nostalgia work, and Flair could be the centerpiece of that approach for 2025. Touching on the reaction to Malakai Black's apparent departure from AEW, Ringside News said, "Malakai Black has been a major figure in AEW for over 3 years, mainly as part of the House of Black. However, he is expected to leave the company soon. Interestingly, reports suggest that some AEW talent view his imminent departure as a good thing." While speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that the backstage reaction to Malakai Black's imminent departure has been mixed. Dave Meltzer revealed that most people he spoke to had a similar response, with talent seeing it as a good thing. Meltzer added that while Black worked hard in his matches, it seemed clear he wanted to return to WWE. This likely affected his standing in AEW, making it difficult to feature him on TV, especially if he was hesitant about losing matches, and that made the situation a lot worse. He's gone. He's not going to be on TV again, most likely. It's funny because, as talented as he is, everyone I've asked about it, they all kind of react the same, and it's kind of like, good. So whatever that's worth. He did work hard in his matches, I'm not saying that he didn't. But he wanted to go back to WWE, and I think that it was very clear he wanted to go back. And once you get that thing, it doesn't work out to put you on TV or anything like that. Especially if you're not comfortable losing, it makes it a lot worse. Malakai Black has been off AEW TV since the Full Gear pay-per-view in November, and reports state he might become a free agent by February or March 2025. He was seemingly written off AEW television. And this comes at an interesting time as his wife Zelina Vega remains in WWE. With Triple H now in charge of WWE's creative team, there's a good chance Black could return. Triple H supported Black a lot during his time in NXT and would likely be happy to have him back. Therefore, we'll have to wait and see whether Black makes his way back to WWE as soon as possible once his AEW contract expires. Former WWE Divas champion Kelly Kelly recently took to X to reveal that her Facebook account has been hacked, saying, "On top of everything happening this week, my Facebook has now been hacked. If anyone knows anyone at Facebook, please send me a DM. I have no idea how to get it back." With a WWE star praising Triple H for his treatment of women in the company, Ringside News wrote that WWE United States champion Chelsea Green opened up on the Sports Agents podcast about how the backstage atmosphere for women in WWE has evolved under Triple H's leadership. Comparing the current era to Vince McMahon's Attitude Era, Green credited the foundation laid by trailblazers while celebrating the progress women are experiencing today. If we're talking Vince versus Triple H, we're also talking Attitude Era versus now. We're talking divas versus women. We're talking about Trish Stratus versus me. There's so many answers to that question, Green shared. First of all, we would not be here without that side of things. We in 2025 would not have the success that we have if it wasn't for that Attitude Era. Acknowledging legends like the Bella Twins, Trish Stratus, and Mickie James, Green made it clear that their contributions paved the way for today's roster. However, she emphasized how the current environment under Triple H has transformed WWE for the better. "I know that I come to work. I love my job. I feel safe. I feel supported. Triple H makes women specifically feel absolutely equal to men. That's why I love to come to work. That's why I feel so supported and so seen." She highlighted the monumental changes in the women's division, pointing out how women now headline WrestleMania, an opportunity that wasn't afforded to their predecessors. "They set the table for us, and now we're sitting at it and enjoying these amazing meals, and I couldn't be happier." Expressing gratitude for the progress that has been made, Chelsea Green isn't holding back, giving credit where it's due to Triple H for leveling the playing field in WWE. From the chaos of the Attitude Era to women now headlining WrestleMania, it's a whole new world for the roster. Green made it clear she feels seen, supported, and ready to keep breaking barriers. Giving her thoughts on going back to doing commentary in pro wrestling, AEW's Renee Paquette told Cincy 360, "Sometimes I think about it. There are aspects that I miss. Obviously, this is a far different circumstance with AEW versus what I had done previously. I think about it sometimes. I love getting to do the interviews, and I love getting to do the long-form interviews or the exclusive sit-downs. I love getting to do that. Every now and then, I'm listening, and I get a little bit of the itch. A little bit. We'll see." As a controversial topic regarding John Cena has been addressed, Ringside News said, John Cena opened up about one of the most debated aspects of his career during an interview with Collider.com. Addressing the frequent wins that defined the peak of his WWE run, Cena explained why those victories were necessary and how they contributed to the bigger picture. "One of the biggest hang-ups in the middle portion of my career was that, spoiler alert, John wins," Cena admitted. What people don't understand is I think now, maybe, as we begin to reflect back here on this last run of like, hey man, I was in it for the long haul. Cena elaborated on the importance of those wins, stating, the way you make those losses impactful is sometimes you've got to win, and sometimes you've got to win a lot. Anytime you can pass energy on to somebody, that's kind of the life cycle of the business. You come in an unknown, and hopefully you get the flywheel spinning. You create all this energy on your way out, you pay it forward, you pass it off. As one of the most polarizing figures in WWE history, Cena's victories were often met with mixed reactions from fans. Still, his ability to elevate his opponents and pay it forward during his later years has become a defining legacy for the 16-time world champion. John Cena's explanation offers a glimpse into the method behind the madness of his winning streak, proving that even the most dominant runs in WWE have a purpose. Love him or hate him, there's no denying Cena's impact on the business and how he's helped shape its future by passing the torch to the next generation. Talking about the current situation with AEW and his view for the future, Jon Moxley told Yahoo Sports, "We're building. It's about a lot more than what happens in the ring. Building something sustainable for the future that we can take pride in. We've been doing that for the past few months. It's about a mindset and an approach of taking pride in what we do. We have a lot of guys and girls that are part of it. I'm pretty proud, but it's a long game and it's little tiny victories every day and a constant learning process. It's really exciting. I don't work for AEW. I work for all of the people that need this place to succeed. That's the way I look at it. For this place to succeed, we've got to operate at the highest level at every level. That's what we accept if you're going to be a part of this team. I feel a responsibility to these people because, to be successful in wrestling, they've given and sacrificed their lives for the pursuit of this, as I had. I am but a servant to the pursuit of helping the whole thing, raising it up, and bringing along as many people as we can. It's making me better and helping me learn a hell of a lot." Mentioning Kenny Omega's return to AEW, president of the promotion, Tony Khan, noted on the Battleground podcast, "It's so exciting to have some of the top stars returning to AEW. Tonight, Kenny Omega returns to the AEW ring for the first time in over a year. We haven't seen Kenny Omega in the ring here in America in a really long time. He did have a comeback match in Japan that went very well, but now he's being tested against one of the most powerful and one of the most impressive athletes in my lifetime that I can ever remember, and that's the Machine Brian Cage. It's been huge having Kenny Omega back in AEW. I'm incredibly excited about Omega returning to AEW and all the possibilities and everything that comes out of tonight when Kenny Omega returns to the ring on Dynamite against Brian Cage." Touching on the possibility of The Rock appearing at WrestleMania 41, Eric Bischoff noted on his 83 Weeks podcast, "The guy just bought 100,000 shares of TKO stock. You think he's not going to try to move the needle anytime he's got the opportunity? I think he loves this. I think it's good for Johnson, the actor. There's no downside. I would manage my expectations and enjoy the ride because I think anything's possible. I think they got the creative horsepower to pull just about anything off." And that was the news for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.